Hi, today we're building a gaming computer, and these are all the parts required to build one. And out of these parts, we have the case, which is the Aerocool Cyclone Star Cruiser. And then next up, we have the graphics card right here, which is the EVGA GeForce GTX 770. And then after that, we get the power supply Corsair CX750M. After that, we have the CPU cooler, which is the Corsair H80 Hydro series. And after that, we have the solid state drive, which is a Samsung 840 Pro series. Next up, we have the processor, which is a Intel Core i7 4770K. K means you can overclock it, so that's very important. Next, we have a standard DVD drive, nothing really so special about that. After that, we got the motherboard, which is a ASRock B85 Pro 4. And then after that, we have the hard drive, which is the Western Digital Caviar Blue 500 GB. Next, we have Windows Software version 8.1. And lastly, we have the RAM, which is 2 sticks of 8 GB G-Skill Ripjaws. Let's get started. Okay, the first step is to take off the sides of your case, so unscrew these. So, take that off. And you do the same this side. Slide this case off. And next what you do is you pull out your box right here. This is full of some computer parts that you're going to need later. And next you need to put screws in here, which as you can see I've already done, just to make the segment quicker. And right here engraved in my computer, it may not be in yours, but it has the ATX screw numbers, which is what your motherboard will need. So I needed to screw in 1, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And next to each screw hole there is a number. And whatever those numbers are, you need to screw in these special types of screws right here. So the first unit you're going to install is the power supply. You want to make sure the power switch is facing towards the outside of your PC. So, slot right here. Okay, okay. And then make sure these cords are tucked in the PC. And lastly, with a non-magnetic screwdriver, you are going to screw these screws in these screw holes in the back. Okay, so the next step is to install the motherboard. So first we're going to tilt the case on its side, like that. And then we are going to align the motherboard with the golden screws that we screwed in earlier. And also we have to align it with the I/O shield that we installed earlier. And then we will screw the regular screws into the golden screws that we screwed in earlier. And then make sure you do all of this very carefully because the motherboard is extremely delicate. And now we will move on to the next step. Okay, so the next step is to install the processor, and to that you need to pull this lever up, and then that should move the case up, like a little protective casing around the processor. And then you put the actual processor like on the motherboard, and then you push down this outside casing here, and then you pull the lever, which will secure it. And there might be a little resistance, but that's okay. But also be very careful when doing this, because it's very easily breakable. But after you do all this, it should look like this. And now we move on to the next step. I'm installing 16 gigs of RAM, for incredibly fast gaming speed. As you can see, I already pre-installed one. Ta-da! And now the next step. Okay, so I just got finished installing the graphics card, and first I took out 2 slot covers, and then I slid in the graphics card, and then I connected the card to the power supply. On to the next step. Now that we've installed our processor, we need a seriously vamped up cooling system, because this is, after all, a gaming computer. And as you can see here, it's a liquid cooling system. So yeah, now on to the next step. Okay, so for the last step, we installed the solid state drive, the hard drive, and the DVD drive. And we plugged in all the cables to the motherboard, and now all we have to do is put the sides on, install Windows 8, and start gaming. Yeah, look, that's a 220, so that's in the 300 frames. It's amazing. Look at that.